bitrate's unstable. 1 second. Let's take care of that. I don't know, is my audio really low? Looks like it. Let me bump it up. How about now? It's better. Okay, a little bit more. How about now? Okay, just gonna wait, see if anyone else is gonna pop in before we get started. Okay, cool. YouTube's working too. Awesome. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's open up this drink. Okay, so I think we're gonna get started on a new project that I've been planning for a little bit. It's gonna be really cool, I think. Let me get all these paints out in the open. I don't know which ones I'm gonna use just yet, but it's gonna be pretty cool. And we're gonna have a platypus vampire and a platypus vampire hunter. We're gonna make a small little diorama on this little plinth right here. So I have two minds about this. One being like a dungeon crypt kind of thing, or even like a cemetery. But either way, this guy is going to be elevated. So it's going to look something a little like this, right? And I think I know how I want to do it, where the vampire platypus is going to be a little older, so he's going to have like lots of gray and white in his hair or fur. Excuse me. But yeah, no, we're gonna get to it. So I think we're gonna start with just the basic stuff today. Yeah, so we're gonna get the basic colors down, and Sorry, it's getting weird hearing my own voice in a delay. Um, yeah, so we're gonna put down basic colors, and then maybe next stream we can get to maybe building some stuff or something. So, uh, so here we go. Let's start with black brown. I actually got to mix my paints because I completely forgot to do that before stream. So you're just gonna hear a little rumbling for a little bit. Uh, really need to mix these up. It's been a little bit since I used them. So burnt umber. Come on. Nope. There we go. Nope. Come on. Okay. There we go. That should be good enough for that one. Kind of want to just like gradually build up um, on all the fur and leather, which I think having all these browns would be really, really nice. Especially for the vampire hunter, which is like duster. Oh no, he's got a cape. So like, yeah, I imagine he still has like quite a bit of leather that we want to get done, and yeah. Oh no, my description is gone. Oh no. Oop, Charlie. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we just did vermin brown. Okay, good. So light brown, burnt umber, vermin brown, and brown. Okay, cool. I don't think I've used vermin brown yet at all. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, so dark red. Oh yeah, and I definitely want to give the vampire a bit of a red glow. I think it'd be great, like a, because I kind of want to have him doing like a little ritual, right? I think that would make a neat little scene. You know, the vampire hunter is stumbling upon the vampire and trying to stop him. Oops, or something like that. And if I boot the microphone more than once, you know, that taught me I got to get used to painting with a microphone in my face. Wait, okay, cool. And then we want to get all the grays out of the way. Oops. But yeah. Okay, so that should be the steel shadow, which I think would be nice. Like if we slowly build up from steel shadow to ruins gray to even a bubble white. But yeah, next time I'll definitely have. I don't know. I won't need to do that because all the paint will be here, and that'd be good. Of course, it'd be good. Bubble white. There we go. But yeah. It's already been 11 minutes? Holy moly. Okay, so we got our bubble white. Great. I mean, I guess technically I don't need that many of the same colors. Um, since I could just mix and match, but I like having this a little easier. Although I guess I'll still do a bit of mixing anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, there we go. And I guess terracotta will go here. Great. All right. And I think I want to have, because I don't want to have too much red. Because if he's going to have like a red glow and like red eyes, I'm not sure about the wings. I guess I could leave the wings like a, I guess like bat wings, like black. But not, no. Like a, oh yeah, like have a skin tone in the folds and stuff, and then have black. Yeah. Okay. I think I got it. Cool. So let's start actually with um our little vampire hunter dude. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to start first? I guess I could start with his pants. Just work my way up. Oops. Gotta get used to painting with the camera too. Oop. Okay. Is that better? There we go. I guess maybe if I wanted to, you know, the pants could be brown, but like his little overcoat, and I guess his coat could be something a bit more lively than a nice neutral color. And I guess technically I could put on some lo-fi or something, uh, just to get rid of all the excess quiet. That way we're both a little bit more entertained, uh, while I just sit here and slap on color. Oh yeah, no, I think one of my favorite types of lo-fi is what is it, like I found, was it 90s or 80s, like soulful hip hop, jazz hip hop, something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but I found it on YouTube while I was working, and like I'm a big fan of um new. Oh my god, I can't. But anyway, yeah, I'm a big fan of like lo-fi hip hop and things of that nature. Um, there we go. Paints are looking okay. And the thing is like these paints, while it is unfortunate that there are um, tariffs in place making things a bit more expensive, uh, especially, since we're in the US and a lot of the cool stuff that I get is from other countries. Um, these ionic smart paints, or smart colors, I should say, I should get the name right. The ionic smart colors are pretty good. Like, um, I like the the brand Chimera colors. It has like a, I guess, like creamy texture to it, so you can really thin it down and get really good coverage and everything. And I guess these kind of like behave the same way. Like they act in the same way. To me, they act in the same way as like Chimera colors do, in that I can thin these down a lot, or to a really thin glaze consistency, and like the color is just there, and I love it. So for the past, I don't know, couple months, while I've been working on my mom's birthday gift, really late birthday Christmas gift, from last year, they've just been super awesome to work with. Although I will say, there's a lot of colors out there, and they aren't cheap. So I've been doing a lot of mix and matching. Like I don't have a pink uh skin tone that I have, like that I actually like with all the paints that I have. So I've just been mixing like Liquitex. Was it? It was called Light Portrait Pink, I think. Um, but yeah, that turned out to be more fleshy colored. Uh, but yeah, it. I've been doing a little bit of mix and matching with those, so it's been good. I think, because I think when I mix that fleshy, um, orangey bit with the pinks that I have for um the Ionic line that I'm using now, I was actually able to get a pretty decent skin tone that I liked, because the project is, I don't know if anyone's familiar with um World of Warcraft Night Elves, but my mom is a big Night Elf fan, and she used to, currently, I don't know, still plays, maybe. Um, a Night Elf hunter and druid, basically anything Night Elf, uh, she was a fan of. So, I told her I would paint her Night Elf, and so I went searching, found some 3D prints that I liked that weren't too like overly revealing. And yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same. The elf does have antlers. I don't know if it's like a headdress or whatever. Um, it looks like it's part of her. Uh, but yeah, so I got her that, and I've been painting that for a while, and that's taking forever because I want to get it at a really good quality. Because this thing is, I don't know, was it like, with the base included, it's like 9 inches tall. Um, so it's been taking me a long time to get all the detail and everything, and like there's plenty of times where I wasn't happy with the color, like the skin tone, because initially it was like a blue, because if I recall correctly, also sorry for the sniffles, I like busted my nose at some point, I think, because my nose is like a little clicky thing when I move it. And ever since then, I've just had eternal sniffles whether I'm sick or not. So, you know. Uh, but yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I got the thing. Oh yeah, the blue skin tone thing. Yeah. So I could have sworn that like there were some night elves that had like a bluish skin tone, and then it just started looking like a whole nother race in Warcraft, World of Warcraft. So I had to scrap that idea because it was looking bad. At one point, it was looking pretty Captain Planet-y because the reference pictures that my mom sent me were just random. I asked her to send her pictures of her character, and I got just random Google searches. Um, yeah, so it was weird trying to compile like what things should look like. Oh, actually, I need 1 second. Sorry, I got a message I got to reply to. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, back to business. And I realize I'm like slowly painting, or like painting way slower than I usually would. So I'm trying to get used to chit chatting while I paint. Cause like usually when I paint, I'm just sitting here listening to audiobooks or watching a show. Um, like we've been watching for fun on Max, The Righteous Gemstones. That is quite the show. And yeah, I think we're on season 3 now out of 4, and it's been a hoot. Um, let me get this real quick. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, there we go. Uh, do we want to keep? This is a lot of brown. Hmm. I think we could actually change the coat to be like maybe like a dark green, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess I should have planned it out a little better. We can at least get the hat, and then we'll add like a nice little splash of color for that little stripe right here. Maybe because the vampire is gonna have a whole lot of red, like a ton of red. Um, so maybe for a nice contrast between the two, because the vampire is gonna be like a lot of black and red. I feel like black, white, and red. So I think like it may be a good contrast. Would probably be like a nice bluish, um, like a lighter. No, maybe not too light, but like a. God, what am I trying to say? Anyway, I'm sure you get my point. Doop, 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 doop. But yeah, usually I paint a little faster than this. I'm still like a baby painter in my eyes. People say I'm really good, but I guess technically I compare myself to the pros and like, you know, probably shouldn't. I mean, it's not like I compare it and go, "Ooh, my paint job is awful," bleh. But like the rate at which they get things done, you know. Uh, but I guess that all. Yes, that is me painting. just to answer your question, uh, person I'm talking to. um, yeah. Okay, we are just getting this hat out of the way. Cool. Now do the underside. And try not to get all the brown on the glove. Okay. See, we're getting some color on there. So like, it's gonna be interesting because this is a lot of brown. I kind of want. Well, I guess I could like keep the hat and everything dark, and then have the hunter's fur like a lighter color, just to have contrast on this dude. Because I don't know how this is gonna work with all these dark browns or all these browns, just making him very neutral. But we also want to like give him a little character. Like what has this guy been up to? Um, uh, oh, hello, Sunny Bird. Yeah, I'm having a good evening. It's a little slow, but how about you? How's your evening going? Is the microphone too quiet, or is this good? Okay, let's see. Also, welcome. Welcome. Okay, I can beef it up a little bit. How about now? Is this any better? I guess yeah, that's fair. Well, if you can hear me better now, um, okay, cool, great. Okay, cool. So the hat is uh, base coated. So I guess we'll get the rest of this. But yeah, let's get some brown. I started. How long? Wait. Let's see. A little later than I wanted to. I want to say like 5:35 ish. Just because as soon as I tried to hit stream or start stream, um, there was a technical issue I was not expecting, and then I was the doof earlier, and I grabbed the wrong version of my intro video. I realized I goofed it up just like earlier this morning. Um, because the video that I had for the intro um was like the second version that me and the artist Eric B, who I mentioned in the artist credits on my Twitch channel, that we agreed upon because I felt like the colors in the intro were going a little too fast. Um, so when I was about to start the stream, oop, oh, oh, he mad. Hold on, just gonna. Okay, I had to mute that mic. Charlie, my dog, uh, he loves to scream as loud as he can. It hurts my eardrums, and I'm sorry if that came in a little loud. I guess we could keep the gloves like black, just to, I guess, change it up a little bit. I guess I gotta keep lowering him so he's a bit more in focus. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, Char. Please don't blow out my eardrums again. Okay. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. Please. Okay, now we're unmuted. Okay. Let's bring it back in. I was trying to show my little doggy because he walked up and propped his face near my desk, but he gone now. He is a gone. Okay. Yep, this is looking very brown. But it's okay. We can at least, like, make this a neutral color. Like, the outsides make it more neutral. And then, like, because he's got little potions and, elixirs and stuff in his face, which, we want the highlight, like, the main focus to be right here. So then, as we work our way up, or towards the center, we'll get all these nicer colors and everything. So I think I'm gonna go with like a nice greenish to offset the reddish tones that we're gonna get on this vampire. Very Christmassy. Okay. Doop 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 doop. Yep. Okay. Actually, man. Oh, I should probably I'll do it after. Okay, so let's get all this brown out of the way. Let's paint these little arrow shafts. Get that out of the way. Or crossbow bolt shafts, I should say. The man is not using a bow. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I guess I mean, what color is a platypus foot? Is it? I guess we can think about that later. Okay, let's do the crossbow now. Oh yeah, no, we got like metallic bits on the crossbow. Oh, and then there's like leaves. What was it? What are these leaves? Feathers? I can't tell. But we can color them any way we want. So let's go crazy. Okay. Yeah. So we'll make. Oops. And it's totally fine to make all these mistakes. Because we can just fix it later. This is the beginning stages, so every mistake does not matter that much, right? Because we can always go back and very carefully fix it. I guess we want to be as neat as we can, but, no big deal if we mess up. Boop, 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 boop. And I guess, should be washing my brush more often. Just because this is a fancy pants sable brush. And I don't want to ruin it. Because, like, when I first started, even though I had synthetic brushes, I mean, I didn't know that synthetic brushes would bend at the tip so easy. I did have a few sables that I messed up just because I wasn't super aware of how quick and how easy it is for acrylic to dry in the brush. Um, so, that was a learning experience. I guess I gotta lower my light a little bit. There we go. So that way we can see. There we go. Cool. Alright. So back to the crossbow. Just gotta decide. Yeah, this is a lot of brown. I was not thinking about this. Guess this man could very easily disguise himself in a riverbank. Or just a lot of mud. Okay. Let's go back over the pants real quick. My man's britches. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. Let's make sure that we get some good coverage. I mean, we can work in all the extra detail later. Like, it's going to be pretty worn, I think. This man has seen some stuff. It's not his first vampire rodeo. I mean, I guess I should probably come up with the... Nope. Nope. Should not come up with that. I'm gonna mute the microphone. Okay, there we go. Microphone unmuted. He is still upset that his mama is in the garage putting her car seat covers on and he can't hang out with her. This boy is very attached to her, and he has lately not only been whining anytime she walks out the door for more than 2 seconds, um, he's been a little barky and a little bossy boy. Still love him, but yeah, my little dude. And I was thinking about adding a little doggy cam because lately he's been sitting on his bed next to me and hanging out. Which is funny because, like, when we first got him, he wasn't super into me, and that's okay. You know, he was a little rescue baby, and both of our dogs are little. Well, my partner, my soon-to-be wife, I'm just gonna say wife. It's easier. Much shorter. Um, she works as a kennel tech, and she adopted these little baby boys. Well, one of them is 9 years old, so maybe not exactly baby, but he is a Chihuahua, so baby in scale, but not age. Um, yeah, they're both little rescues, and they're lovely. Yeah, I should learn how to paint more towards the center. Jeez. But yeah, little rescue babies, and like I said, Charlie kind of liked me. Like, he didn't hate me or anything, but definitely took him a lot longer to warm up to me. Now, Louis, on the other hand, this man loves attention. I cannot get him to stop. And he does this little, uh, like, airy whine. Like, he huffs and puffs. It's real sad when you don't give him food that you have. Um, it's real quiet. Like, I have tinnitus and stuff, right? So I also pretty sure I have some hearing loss as well. It's definitely harder for me to hear stuff compared to other people. Um, but yeah, I so fortunately I can't hear the like wheezy whines that he does. Um, when he wants a food or something, but it drives her nuts because she can hear it all the time, and I feel bad for her. Do, do, do. So I think we're almost done getting all the brown bits. uh, Sorry, got a message I have to respond to. There we go. Okay, back to what we were doing. Getting a whole lot of messages. No, it's just only like two different people. Um, but yeah, back to where I was saying. Yeah, so she gets to hear all the wah wahs and the hissy whiny sounds, And I'm over here painting a platypus. Platypi. But yeah, actually, yeah. So for next stream, I'll definitely consider putting maybe some like real quiet like lo-fi in the background, just so that when I'm not speaking constantly, um, that there's still a little entertainment factor going on. So we're gonna get this nice brown coat. Cool. Look at that. Super brown. Very appealing to the eye. Because we love dirt, I guess. I guess we like dirt and muddy. I really don't know what kind of fuzz to give him. Um, hmm. Oh, yeah, no. Like a light brown. So I want him to be, I guess, sort of reaching middle age. Like, oh, what character is that? Oh, this is a platypus vampire hunter. He has no name, but we can name him. If you can think of a good name, also welcome, Vieva. Uh, if you can think of a good name for this guy and his rival, the vampire lord platypus himself, we can name them. That way they have a little story going on. Um, but yeah, we're doing a little diorama with these two. And it's gonna go, let me put this down. It's gonna go on this plinth right here. Right. So my idea is, because this guy has such a neat position. He's not like in a standing position, right? He's kind of like, oh no, diving back. That, I would make something where the vampire dude is like elevated, maybe doing a ritual. Cause like I want like a red glow around this part. Like you can see where all the white is. Like have the uh red light bouncing off of him right there. So like a under light, I suppose. So he's like diving backwards, like, oh no, like, and then have him elevated on some steps, or maybe like a cemetery hill or something. Either way, vampires up here, this guy is like down here, and like I think that's like the perfect angle. If you like look at the crossbow bolt, pew, right? Boom. That's kind of what I got going on right now. I hope that made sense, and I hope the microphone is at a good volume. Sorry to bombard you with all of that. But welcome. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, right now I'm just getting all the brown down, um, so that we can do our lighter layers later. Um, yeah, because we're starting off with this like really dark brown. It probably doesn't look that dark on stream. I can't tell. Um, Actually, it kind of does look dark on stream. So it looks like the right level of brown. The volume is a bit low. Okay. How about now? Is this any better? Actually, I think I have some software. Okay. Focus. Bright. Right. There we go. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sorry in advance if my baby boy Charles barks with the rage of 1,000 suns because that's the only volume he has. But yeah, we'll be streaming, or I'll be streaming, for another 2 hours. So if you want to hang out and paint with me, or just hang out, you don't have to paint with me. That'd be cool. Oh no, you busy. Boop boop boop. Okay. But yeah, so I was thinking that with the red glow and everything, what would be like a really nice um addition, since this is an older vampire, is what I imagined in my head, is that he's gonna have like gray, white fur and everything, like glowing red eyes. As you can see the reds that we got going on down here. Um, and then like this guy's gonna have. He's getting close to middle age, so he's gonna be like a dark brown, light brown kind of mix, and I think that would be really fun. Kind of like a Van Helsing type of dealio, you know? Oh, can you? Oh, okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna get started on the gray. And I know he is um like black and white already, but we want to get a nice even coat all around first. And I think this, because like I also love his eyebrows. They are so good. I think I might be using the wrong gray for this. That's fine. We will work with it. Cemetery Hell? Okay. Yeah, we can work with that because I actually have oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the microphone. I do have a lot of foam, and I did just buy a foam cutter, so that way I make 1,000% less of a mess. Um, so we can actually, and I have was it air dry clay as well? Um, so yeah, I'm pretty excited to use all that. Let's get all that, and let's get his wonderful eyebrows. Uh, so how's your day going? Oops. Guess. Man, I need a reference picture of a platypus. I don't know what all these colors should be. Oh no, it should be like a brown or black. Let's just do brown. This little fold right here. Not bad. Just finished making dinner not too long ago. Oh, cool. What'd you have? I won't. Dobby won't get to eat until 8:30 when the stream's over. Yep. Hmm. What should this fancy pants vampire have for his fancy pants? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Let's paint. Made a modified version of Aussie chicken and mac and cheese. What is Aussie chicken? I'm not familiar. Is that like a. How would one go about making Aussie chicken? Okay, I think we're getting there with this little thing. Baked chicken topped with homemade honey mustard, bacon, shredded cheese, mushrooms, and green onion. That sounds delicious. Can you send some over, please? And thank you. Thank you. I have never had Aussie chicken before. At least I'm pretty sure I haven't. Uh, so that would be fantastic. Okay. Yeah, see, we're putting down this nice, like, I guess creamy color, like a faded creamy color on his little. I guess is it a frock? I don't know the right word for this, but putting that down. So then when we do our white highlights and everything, the highlights will be real poppin'. Give it some depth. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the follow. You're my first on stream follower. I appreciate it. Guess I gotta paint you something now. I guess I gotta really do. I really gotta reward you. I normally charge $100, but for you, $99.98. You're welcome. Oh my god. So Charlie likes to drop his toys from 10 miles up in the sky. So if you hear any clattering, that is him. That is Bob the Builder back there dropping all his tools because it's fun. Make it 99.88 and you got a deal done. Done. It is a done deal. You have received the best offer in this generation's lifetime. So, congratulations. I don't know when you'll get it or if I'll get around to it. But thank you for your money. Okay. All right. So we do want to add this like nice creamy color to this nice steel shadow. But like we don't want to have too much of an aggressive step up. So we're just going to take a little bit of that. Ooh, we're getting to the mixing portion of the stream. Cool. And see, now we get this nice little gray, nice little in between. This is where the pros come out to play, and you know, here we are mixing colors. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna do little highlights, and so we're just gonna cover less than before. Well, not highlights, but you know, we're gonna layer on this new color. And since we want that steel shadow, yeah, steel shadow to be our shadowy. Ah, my hands. Oh, my camera. Oh god, it's all falling apart. Okay, let me try that again. Let me wipe my finger off. Okay. So since we still want that steel shadow to be our shadow, um, you know, we only want to cover a little less than before. So like we did 100% with the steel shadow. So with this mix, we want to cover like maybe like 80-90%, right? So then the downward facing areas still get that nice shadow. Oops. This is too wet. And it's just filling in all the gaps. We don't want that. So the downside is that like acrylic paint dries so quickly, right? So like anytime, you know, sorry if you already know this, I'm just chit chatting. I don't mean to mansplain to you, but if you're willing to listen, I will just say it. Oh, this might not be. You're good? Okay, cool. Right. So, yeah, we want to cover like. Oh, no. Mansplain away? Okay. You got it, bud. Um, Right. So, since acrylic paint dries so quick, especially like this brand, I find, the paint dries so fast that like if you make a mistake, there's still a chance to recover. So you gotta like dip your brush in real quick and just kind of like, you know, clean it off, dry this off, and then since there's like excess moisture and it's still kind of liquidy, so it's almost a wash consistency, you can still pick up the paint and then like um whatever's left over is usually pretty minimal, so it makes it much easier to fix the issue, right? See, I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. You can see like, see, it's covering only mostly, and we're already getting some like really nice volumes and like some real nice depth. You see, there you go. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, time for the next gigantic eyebrow. And then we're just gonna like continue working our way through the different like volumes and levels and all that jazz. Cause this man, vampire, platypire, yes, this platypire has insanely huge, excuse me, eyebrows. Okay, look at that. Making progress. And we're only doing like basic stuff today. So we're just gonna put down like these basic layers and everything. And then tomorrow, depending on where we are with all this, we actually might start building the diorama. And since you gave me the suggestion of the cemetery hill, yes, platypire. I'm still thinking of names. The other one was a platypus vampire hunter. Right? Yes, yes, that is correct. The sad thing is, they're best friends, or they were. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. I mean, if we want to make that the story, we can totally make that the story. This is turtle fun time. We're done working for the day. We put our hair up. Bellies out. We can do whatever we want. But they could be. Yeah, they could be. He's like, oh my gosh, you're a vampire. And he's like, yeah, I'm a vampire. What of it? And then, he's like, oh, well, I'm a vampire hunter. Surprise. Riveting story. I should work in Hollywood. A little hair up, bellies out, new life motto. Yes. Oh, was I trying to paint over the shadow with. Yep, I was. So we've been watching this show called The Righteous Gemstones. I don't know if you have HBO Max or Max. Gosh, stupid. Um, but if you do, it is it is like pretty funny. We've been enjoying it. And I think we're on season 3 now. It's a hoot. I'd recommend. Oh, you don't? Dang. Well, next time you get super promoted or stumble upon $1 billion and you feel like watching something. Oh no, I'm getting too far into the weeds. No, no. Details later. I'd recommend that show. Boop, 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 boop. Is there anything that you've been watching lately, or like reading books or listening to something? If there were more people here, I would be. Is YouTube delayed? Probably. I finished watching Game of Thrones and I'm currently on the third book of the Red Rising series. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I still need to start Red Rising. Like, um, I'm on book one and I tried listening before I went to bed and then I started getting too interested and then I had to stop doing that and then I kind of forgot to get back to it. Um, yeah. So that's on me. Oh, his little peanut head. Okay, we are getting somewhere. Do you like it so far? Well, I've only gotten like maybe a chapter in, and then I was just like, this is gonna disrupt my sleep. I know it. So I started listening to something else, and I got too far into that one as well. So for the past couple nights, I have been sort of bouncing back and forth of like audiobooks to listen to before bed, or when I'm going to bed, because like I fall asleep to them, and depending on the narrator, they will keep me up. Like um, Jeff Hayes, like listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. Um, he works for me. Like as a narrator, it works for me. Unless it's a new book, then I have trouble sleeping. But having listened to it a bunch of times, that's fine. But yeah, some people are just like they'll start off quiet and then they scream and then like I can't sleep. So then next thing I know, I'm up for another like um 2 hours trying to find something because my brain won't shut off. And the only way to like make it stop is to engage it with something that is interesting and not overly loud. Oh no, you should. It's really good. Which reminds me, book 8 might come out this year in October. So, gotcha. I can't listen to audiobooks before bed. I just fall asleep to them. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it. Like at first, when I started listening to them, I kind of had the same issue where it's just like, uh, I would listen to them, and then next thing I know, I'm sleeping, and then I wake up because like when I first started, I forgot that you could set timers on Audible. Um, so I would wake up And then next thing I know, I'm like hours ahead. And then I had to go back, and I was just like, this is awful. So now I set a timer for 30 minutes, and then we just kind of go from there and see what happens. Okay, and then I'm just gonna bring down the shade color again. I didn't know you could do that. I listened to them on Libby. I'm not familiar with Libby. Um, for like my phone and stuff, I use, what is it, Smart Audiobook Player. Um, and that also has a sleep timer, and I set that for 30 minutes as well. And it has this neat thing to where like um if the audiobook stops, if you want to keep playing, you just like shake your phone, which kind of counterintuitive to my goals, because that wakes me up for like a little bit more. Libby is the one the library uses, right? Oh, there you go. Also, welcome to the stream, Dean. Thanks for dropping by. To give you a little context of what we're doing, since this is the first stream and it has to be special, we are making a little diorama with this platypus vampire and this platypus vampire hunter. And they're going to be on like a little cemetery hill. Vampires in the middle of a ritual, spring into action, all that jazz. And then it's going to be a fun little scene. So this adventure is going to take, I don't know how long, but we're going to have fun. But for right now, we're just doing like basic details. As you can see, I've got like the base brown on this guy for now. And then I'm just kind of goofing around with this one while I chit chat. Okay. But yeah, I haven't actually figured out what color his clothes should be. So that's kind of why I'm only goofing around with the little frock thing. And then he has a little gemstone right there. I was thinking of making that like red, maybe green, or like a purple, something. Um, but yeah, because I also have, where did it go? Doop, 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 doop. The blackest black, and I want to find a use for it. Because I know there's like Muso black, and that's supposed to be the blackest black, but there's like 4 iterations of it, and then I guess for my needs, it's not great. I've heard mixed things about it on miniatures. It looks great, but I've heard mixed things about it. So I grabbed that instead. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to find a use for it. I'm sure we'll think of something. Hmm. Guess I could start putting down the red. Just trying to get the red on the eyes real quick. It's looking pretty good. So I actually have a webcam that can do 4K. Um, but I guess YouTube and all that, uh, the best resolution to stream at is like 1080p. Um, but what I was thinking was having this camera here, um, more zoomed in, so you can actually see me paint those like finer details, like the eyes that I just did, and then have my webcam hooked up and like pointing down on this because I don't know if you guys are interested in seeing the mixtures and all that, but I'm sure you're more interested in seeing uh, more close-ups of the paint going on. Because right now, I don't know how much you can see. Like, I guess I got to get used to painting up here or something. Okay, yeah, let's get that. Oh, Fred Cat. Hello, Fred. The little both really seeing the whole set of procedures cool, but being able to see more detail in the miniature would be nice as well. Okay, yeah. So I think for next stream or whenever I have time, I'll try to set that up because I did buy a fancy pants camera with the lens for this one. Um, so we can do zoom ins and stuff. So let me just nope, wrong direction. Boop 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 boop. There you go. Now we're really in there. Oops, boop the mic. And if the painting looks awful now, just trust the process. It'll get there. The zoom in was a great idea. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad it worked out. Uh, so I guess technically I could start it out with the zoom out and then zoom. Well, no, I have. Never mind. I have that camera. What am I talking about? I'll get that set up tonight. Because I'm pretty sure I can find a way to do like a split screen kind of thing, or have uh, like a scene transition when I'm ready. A split screen would be cool. Okay, yeah, I can see what I can do about that. Because I know that there are other streamers out there that I watch. like Miniac. I think he has a setup where he did like a split screen. Um, so like when he's mixing paint and stuff, you can see that, and then he has a zoom in. Also, I was thinking maybe instead of maybe a top down view, maybe like an angled view from sort of like what I'm seeing, or is this fine? Maybe face cam. I gotta get another camera then. We have a split screen and a face cam. I don't know if I got face cam money right now. Okay, we're getting that the frock fluffy clothing then, and that's I guess the hard part about this is that like I guess I should have gone over with the steel shadow first. Is that like up close view and then face cam silly goose? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Cool. All right, it's looking good. So let's take a little bit of this, a bit of that. Get a little shadow tone going because I messed up. Let me start filling in the shadows. I don't know if you can see that. But it's just like half a step down just to make it like give the clothes a little bit more like um more volumes and like make it more three-dimensional, or at least like appear that way. I mean, I know it's three-dimensional, but I think the clothes should be a dark red and the buckle and clothing details should be gold. Okay. Well, are you in luck? I just got more gold today. So we can do this. Okay. Okay, so like should the really dark red would look really cool. So which part like cuz he has like a little shirt right here and then he's got like this I guess like little outer I don't know what to call it. Little outer coat, like a petticoat, I guess. And then he has like the real long one. So what would this be and then or should they all be red? And I guess you could have like black boots. Oh, he does have like these little epaulets too. Or I guess this could be like red. Really frame that red in there. I guess while we're deciding, I'll add a little more detail to the eyes. Okay. So the long coat should be black on the outside, dark red on the inside. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. All right, that eyeball is looking real good. Okay, boom. Okay, so now that we have that, we can actually get started on putting the red. If you want to add dimension, break up some of the colors, maybe like make the lines a dark gold. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. We will do what we can. Oh, I'm gonna need a bigger brush. The big old brush. Big old problems. And it's totally okay if we get these lines red, because like if you want to do gold, a good base to start from is like a nice dark brown, and with it being primed in black, this dark red will actually look like a dark brown, so we can just go over that and it'll look good. Boop, 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 boop. And then when I finally finish this, if anyone wants it, feel free to call dibs. Ooh, okay, make the inner part of the shirt white, but later add red spot. Oh, okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. He a thirsty little vampire. This is not the brush. This kind of work. Okay. Do I have to shake it? I imagine I need. Oh. Let's see. However, it will decrease the darkness. Okay, let's. Oh, we're gonna add the blackest black to his cape. See just how black it is. Okay. Now that might sound like a crazy pants statement, but I've painted with like black paint before, and then it's not like always black. It's like a charcoal. The mini is in the corner of the screen when you paint. Oh, sorry. I gotta get used to the zoom in. Oh, and there is like some trim on the outside of the um, coat. So I guess we can add a little gold there, unless that's what you meant before. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Oh well. Oh wow, that is dark. Okay. Well, that's good. You can see the brush strokes, so maybe I need a little bit more thinner. Maybe make the waistcoat a dark brown to match the other mini, or is that too much brown? Oh, hmm. I mean, that we could try it and see how we feel about it. Okay, we're almost done with this part. Oops. Oops. You okay, Lou? Oh no. Getting a nice even coat with this has been... Yeah, there's a little gem right there. Bright neon green, like it's glowing. Okay, we can do that. Not sure how I'm liking this. Like, on the camera, it looks fine, but like I can see maybe it just needs to like cure or something. Or maybe I'm not using the right thinner, or maybe I need to get their thinner or whatever. Cause looking at me. But yeah, no, on camera looks great. Oh no, it doesn't. Never mind. Never mind. Maybe I should got a even bigger brush. Hmm. I'm thinking maybe this is better for like environmental rather than like a cape or like on a miniature at this point. Also, the waistcoat could be a dark red. Oh, did I misread what you said earlier? But oh, maybe make the waistcoat a dark brown. Oh, so I guess now it's dark red. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Look at that. Ain't no sunlight getting in. Or maybe it just requires like multiple coats to look good. I'm gonna guess that's the case here. Like multiple thin coats. And the fun thing is that like after this, my idea of fun is painting, so I'm just gonna be painting again. So like I have multiple. I think you need to adjust the camera over. Yeah, I keep goofing. Let me do that. How about that? Yeah, that's a lot better. Plus, you can see my paints again. It all works out. Woo! Yeah, this is like taking longer than normal to like actually build up like decent coverage so that you know, it doesn't look awful. Maybe it was just like it wasn't thin enough because they didn't really say how thin it should be. It's my first time using it, so you know we're trying new things here. All part of the process. Is the paint meant for something else? I don't know. I have no idea. Like not many. Yeah, I have no clue. I got it because it sounded neat. And I was like, oh man, I could probably make some really cool stuff with this. And then after I got it, I was drawing a blank. So it's just been sitting here for months. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with it. But yeah, no, it's actually starting to look a lot better. Well, starting. Not quite there yet. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like really matte. And like those are the paints I really like, are matte paints. Um some people are like really into satin, so like semi-gloss, and that could mean a lot of things depending on the brand. But yeah, whenever I finish minis and stuff, I always go over it with the matte varnish, and that just like really brings things together. It looks so good. Do you have a gloss varnish? Maybe that could make the gold trim pieces pop more. Uh, yeah, I have. I have quite a few different varnishes. I have some satin, I have gloss, I have iridescent, so it has like little chunks of metallic flakes. Um, yeah. Okay, let's get that dark red. Ooh, iridescent would be perfect. Okay, so we said that the waistcoat would be dark red, and then like this inner part would be white, along with the pants, like a grayish white, right? Yes. Okay. Here we go. Now let me do steel shadow here too. Oops. You probably said this earlier and I missed it. But what are these miniatures made of these days? Um, so these particular ones are printed with resin. I do have like a soft white metal minis. I also have like thermoplastic um type stuff. I know there's like PVC, I think that's what it's called. So it kind of like depends on the range or like where you get them from. But like these particular miniatures I got off of Etsy. So someone just like 3D printed at home with rec resin. Were you interested in like getting some? You should get a 3D printer and make your own minis. I would, but I don't really have the room um for it just because of all the like toxins and stuff. Like setting up proper air ventilation, everything here in this current house would be a nightmare. Like I have my airbrushing station downstairs, on its own little table and everything. Cool. They were all lead when I used to paint them. Did you paint the whole thing in a single solid color before you started? Yes. I actually primed them in black and then did like a little white highlight. Like here, I can show you. This, I guess, better. Uh, yeah. So for this one, I realized that I wanted him to have like like a torch dropped in front of him. So I sprayed like a white highlight in this direction, like this way. So that way, like, his face and like down here, all these like highlighted white spots are gonna be that that torch kind of color. Or like, have that little bit of light. Minus these potions because they're gonna have whatever colors we decide to put on there. Oh yeah, and resin printers are pretty stinky. Welcome back. Yeah, I heard they're pretty stinky as well. Plus, like, sometimes when we take our dogs outside, the front door is not always an option. So, having a 3D printer down there is not great. So, like, I feel like I'm pushing it already with an airbrush station, which, you know, for these streams and stuff, I won't be doing any like airbrushing on the projects. Or if I do need to use it, it'll be off stream just because uh, it would just be a nightmare logistically to actually film all that stuff. All right. But I was considering, like, if this thing takes off and like people are really interested in like the little projects that, gonna be doing. Um, Sorry, one second. Um, I was thinking maybe doing like YouTube videos and stuff, or if anyone's interested, because they do have alternatives to using paint and all that, and they also have like brush on primers now. I don't know if Fred, if uh, if that's an issue for you, like having spray can primers or whatever. Uh, I don't, pets and all that. But yeah, they have like brush on primers now that, from what I hear, are pretty solid. Like I ordered a brush on primer from Pro Acryl that should be getting here soon to like test it out. So if you want my opinion on that and you're interested, or I could just tell you my opinion on it if you're interested anyway. I could do that because I bought a white and black primer. So, it's an easy way to get started instead of having to like get a spray can and go outside. And if you're, trying to be more conscious about the environment and everything, um, or pets or whatever. Because the thing is that like with spray can primers, you're also kind of at the mercy of the weather. Depending on when you spray, how you spray, etc. Things could be pretty good for you, or they could be pretty bad. Because like I've seen people spray during like the wrong time, or like if there was like too much humidity, and then their primer, instead of being a nice like smooth finish, is very like clumpy and awful looking. So um, so yeah, there's that. And I do realize that maybe this first stream should have been like, What is that character you're painting? I'm painting a platypus vampire. Here you go. That's a better shot. These are you know, the early looks. You know, trust the process. You'll look super fantastic. He's gonna be like an ancient vampire. Um, on a cemetery hill. Oh, that reminds me. I did actually. Hold on. I did just buy some pieces that would absolutely fit. It was meant for something else. Um, sorry, 1 second. Okay, sorry. Hold on. I got a bot in my chat. I gotta get rid of him real quick. Man, goodbye. Okay, great. Sorry for interrupting. I was just curious. It's looking good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so anyways, I recently just bought these like little 3D printed things on Amazon. I have 12 of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So, when cuz like the thing that I got it for was for 1 second. For like this little axolotl, and then I realized perhaps maybe just perhaps that these gravestones might be a little too big for the project that I had in mind for them. So I think. Thank you. It's a private message. But they're watching. Anyways, yeah. So I think these would be like really good for the cemetery. Just kind of have them like hanging around, maybe in a circle ish around the vampire. I don't know how we're gonna fit all this on this plinth, but we're gonna make it happen. I got plenty of foam, a lots of clay, a lots. I have lots of clay, all kinds of stuff. So, foreground. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, more like background. Because we want the highlight to be these guys. So, they'll just be in the background. I was thinking about maybe getting some skeletons like crawling out of the grave, but I felt like no, I meant put them in front. These guys, or are you talking about the stones? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. So we're almost ready to move on and make this look different. So I might need to grab a different kind of gray just so that like the frock and everything kind of looks different. Maybe like since he's ancient, well, I guess if he's ancient, maybe he puts a little extra care in his like wardrobe. Is this a fancy vampire? Just an idea. Sorry for being so talkative. No, don't worry about it. You're good. Um, Ideas are good. But yeah, is this vampire like a clean fancy pants vampire? I mean, he has the frock and everything. I don't know if that's what it's called, but we're calling it a frock. I imagine he's like wanting to take care of his clothes and everything. And I should probably darken this just a little bit. That red looks a little too bright. All vampires are fancy. Well, I mean, what about those blade vampires? I don't know. I think they all, considering the age of them, fancy that is. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But, blade vampires were just yucky. They're just, they did not look great. They did not have a skincare routine or anything. He looks fancy. That's true. All right, so we're just gonna fancy it up. So now we added like a little of a dark brown. So then we can bring down this red just a little bit. Because when we do our little highlights, like I want the ancient ones. Yeah. Yeah, definitely the ancient ones are fancy. Do you want like a really saturated deep red, or do you want like a desaturated like dark red? I guess on stream it looks darker. Desaturated dark red. Okay. Yeah, so we could probably grab black. Okay. I actually need to go get a different paint for black because this one's not going to work out. So I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. Normally it wouldn't take me that long to go get paint, but currently I have a lot of boxes in the way. Which I need to get rid of. I feel like a pack rat, but okay. Oh, actually, I need to mix these paints, so you're gonna hear the little mixer again. Okay, there's black. It's my vampire ancient. Yes. It is an ancient vampire. Do you have to switch gloves ever? Initially when I first started, I changed my gloves out like pretty regularly because I was like, oh, these gloves are messy. Um, but after a little while, I kind of got tired of wasting them. So now, the only time I change them is if I accidentally tear them somehow. Um, and that's happened actually quite a few times. Because like the model will have like a really sharp point or something, and it gets caught. And then, yeah. What did you just mix with that? Is that like a tiny paint shaker? Yes, actually. Here I can show you. 1 second. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, here's my little paint mixer. Just put it on top and we'll shake. I got it for like $100, and let me tell you, this thing is a lifesaver. Like my wrist and my arms just got like incredibly tired from shaking paint just like repeatedly. Um, so now I only have to mix things for like 10 seconds at most times. And then the paint's all mixed up and nice. Cause like most of the paints that I get usually have like an agitator in the bottle already. So, when I'm mixing them, that bottle's just spinning around too. So saves me lots of time and everything. Yeah, you're, you're welcome. Doop, 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 doop. Okay. Where we? Oh, yes. Desaturated dark red. Okay. Well, much better than putting paint bottle on a long sock and swinging it around in circles. Old school mixing techniques. Yes, I would never paint if that's how we had to shake bottles. That would be a nightmare. I would question how much progress we really made if we still had to do it that way. All right, there we go. So now we're gonna. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. So when that dries, that's gonna look really great. And then we can slowly build up um, some of those dark red highlights, and really just make it pop. You get used to it after a while. I guess, yeah. That is true, but you know, I like having my arms and everything intact. So, repeated sock swinging would be a nightmare. Okay, so let's build up because oh wow, this stream has gone by pretty quick. Yeah, I think I'll be able to handle 12 hours a week. So it's almost 8 o'clock already. So we can still get quite a bit done. So are we thinking like a off-white 80s and 90s art school? Like an eggshell? You got these. Thank you. Ooh, I don't know how it's gonna turn out. That's okay. High school, actually. This is fun to watch. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, like I said, I was thinking maybe next time, um, maybe I put like a little lo-fi hip hop. What's your favorite part of making those people? Painting. Painting them is my favorite part. Believe it or not, I hate assembling things. No, I don't. Okay, I take that back. I don't hate assembling things because you can always do something fun with it. But like, if I'm doing like an army or something, putting together the same kind of thing over and over drives me bonkers. Like I'll say it. Um, Other people might have a different opinion, but when I bought the Star Wars Shatterpoint or was it Legion or whatever, I absolutely hated it because the minis were so thin and tiny. Like they had battle droids from the prequel trilogy, and that was awful because like I had to use tweezers and everything to like put it together. I know that's like some people's jam, but it's definitely not mine. So like I guess well designed minis are great, but my favorite part overall is just like painting them. Like if I could have someone just assemble them for me and prime them, that would be the best, right? And I know it's all looking messy right now and it's looking pretty thin, but that's okay. We will get there. Cause like the thing about like painting light colors over like something darker like this is like the coverage is usually like pretty awful. So you have to apply like quite a few layers just to make it look nice and even. Oh no, is he starting to look like Santa? I guess so. We're gonna have an evil Santa platypus. You know, Santa and Satan are just a few letter swaps away. So, you know. And I've never seen them in the same room, so it could be the same person. Ew. House made a noise when I said that. I might get got. I just realized that I shouldn't be covering the whole thing again. Should only be doing like certain areas. Oh well, we can just reapply a shade after. Oops. Okay, yeah. I'll probably go over that in like another black. What do you think of this name from Ambrose? That's like a perfect vampire name. Okay. Oh yeah, no, I definitely see the Santa connection. But yeah, we'll get all the way that like I like doing this is that we'll get all of the color and everything down. Um, so we'll do like our like highlights and everything too. Um, and then for the last bit will be the painstakingly long part of the process of actually doing like blending and all that. So then if you guys want, you can literally watch me watch paint dry just over and over and over and over and over. Like I know it sounds ridiculous now because you're like, but Turtle, we're already doing that right now. No, 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 no. No. See, this is the fun part where you can really see the progress in like a shorter amount of time. I'm talking about like transparent layers, like layers, and you're just like, you go boop, and you wait a couple seconds, and you boop again, wait a couple seconds, and you just keep doing that, and like you slowly build up the transition. So if you guys want to see that eventually, that could just be like a fun like let's hang out and chit chat kind of stream. I mean, that's what this is, but like, I'll be more present, I guess. But yeah, if you have any opinions on like lo-fi, like quieter lo-fi hip hop or something in the background while I paint for the next stream or something, let me know because I think it'd be fun for everyone. The other guy could be named Darius. Okay, so Ambrose and Darius. Voice crack. Ambrose and Darius. Sounds good. I painted jacket using that technique, using acrylics. That's how it had to be done, using the watered down paint and using a hairdryer to keep it from cracking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like acrylics are fun, but they have such like an interesting behavior of like drying so fast or like um does all your people that you made have names? Uh that's a good question. Usually they do. They're like usually pre-named, so I don't have to do it. Like I have this frog. Let me go get it real quick. Let me show you. Actually, I have two frogs. Actually, I have no, not three frogs. A chameleon and triceratops that I have to paint. God, my hand's stuck. Okay, there we go. So I have this frog that I'm gonna paint for my partner. Um, they already came. Well, yeah, as you can see, it's already like partially painted. I just used an airbrush for this part. Um, but their name is Grump. Am I the only one in the chat room, or are you on multiple platforms at the moment? I'm on multiple platforms at the moment. Um, so I'm getting messages on YouTube, Twitch, and Discord. And I have a Triceratops. I forget their name, but also airbrushed. And they're going to be in like a nice magenta color. Ah, cute. Thank you. And then there's this other frog that recently came out, which is unpainted. I still got to brush them because the way with um, like resin and 3D prints is that after they get printed and everything, even though they look nice and smooth and everything, you do want to give them a scrub with a toothbrush and some dish soap, like a soft bristled toothbrush, because usually they have some kind of like release agent or like a mold release agent that if you don't clean it off and you prime it and everything, as soon as you put paint, you'll see that the paint just kind of like collects on the surface and just like acts in a weird fashion, like hydrophilic kind of way, and that's because of the release agent. So, you know, I got to finish this up. So I'm going to paint this. This also has another name. I think it's Grumpy. And then, I have this chameleon. And the other part of the hobby that is less fun is gap filling. Because sometimes, even though the pieces fit, well, but even though the pieces fit, they don't always fit well. So you gotta get like green stuff or some kind of putty. And you gotta like put it in there, shape it, make it look all nice. I do have sculpting tools. There's also like extra flash and like as you can see these mold lines. Like so you gotta get rid of these as well. And then getting rid of them is like pretty simple. Usually you can just use like the back of your hobby knife. Just like scrape it at an angle so you're not like, cutting anything. And then you can just like to smooth it out, just get sandpaper and just go over it. I usually go up to like 1,000 grit. So I start at maybe like 600 or I don't know. I don't remember what it is. It's been a little bit since I had to sand anything, but I'll start at a lower number, work my way up, just so like it gets a smooth surface, and so when you prime it and everything, it doesn't look atrocious. But yeah, usually they have names. Like I said, these four all have names. Um, I also have, I mean, like this creature right here, which I was debating on painting for this first stream. Um, it's not fully assembled yet, or anything, but yeah, I was gonna paint this, but I figured a diorama with platypi was a lot more fun. Um, but yeah, like this just has like a creature name, so if I ever decide to paint it and you guys want to name it, we'll name it. We'll give it whatever name you want to give it. Sorry, that is my Scooby Doo dog um, galloping. Okay. But yeah, so really long winded answer. Good call. That seems like it would take forever. Yes. Trust me. Yeah. Like, here, I can show you the current project I have in progress. 1 second. Okay. So here's the one I currently have in progress. It has been a nightmare on getting the skin color and tone correct. Um, and I also have to fix like these gold details. Are these for others who bought them and asked you to paint them, or are you just picking whatever you want and open selling afterwards? Um, I'm just kind of picking whatever. I'm just gonna sell them afterwards. As much as I love them, yeah, I did find a client, but he hasn't talked to me about anything, so I guess I don't have a client, but that's fine. But yeah, like I said, like things like this, like you can still see like, things I need to fix and whatever. But like the gold here, you know, I know you mentioned iridescent and gold and everything. So this is non-metallic metal gold. So this is just flat matte paint designed to mimic the behaviors of metal. So like whatever angle you look at, it should, you know, theoretically behave the same with the reflections and all that. Like here, which I do need to fix, like these highlights should be longer. This dark part should probably, because I found out that non-metallic metal lives in like the mid-tone area. So like your slightly not brown but slightly orangey color. Yeah. Yeah, so we could do non-metallic metal on the platypus. It doesn't necessarily have to be an iridescent finish or varnish. We can still do that. I'm okay with that. I also do have a fancy gold paint laying around somewhere that I need to use, so maybe we, yeah. But yeah, like the eyes, I did that last night. As well as the war paint stuff. She's she's looking very gothic, I guess. In a sense, but I really like how it turned out. Um, this used to be all blue, and then the war paint and everything used to be like a magenta, like almost reddish color. But yeah, so we're winding down on the stream. Probably only got like 10 minutes left, or 15 minutes left. Yeah, because I also did it for this arm too, where you can see like it should behave, oh, should behave the way that boop. And then as you get to the darker side, boom. So that has taken me a while to do. So yeah, the details are what like really really takes the most time. So this stuff easy peasy, we can get out of the way. It only takes this long because I'm chit chatting and just kind of like taking it slow and hanging out, and that's fine with me. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were gonna do some more red highlights because we want to make sure that even though we have a desaturated dark red, that there's still a little bit of life to it. Because if we're gonna get reflections or like uh light bouncing off stuff, there should still be a little highlight. Because the one thing I learned is that even though things are in the shadow, there are highlights, it's just that the highlights for shadows and dark stuff can be your midtones. So, like, instead of your dark red. So, let's say dark red is your shadow tone and red is your midtone, and then, you have bright red. Your highlight in the shadows and stuff would be the regular red. So, we're just going to give this just a little extra red so that in the upward facing area, or like the areas that would have light bouncing off of it, is a little brighter than the rest. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. So like, as you can see, like the way that the coat folds into right here. So we, make our highlights like right here. And that gives it a little extra, like, we build up our volumes and it gives it a little extra, I guess, dimensionality. I don't know if that's a word. It sounds like a word, but yeah. So maybe we need to bring it up just a little bit so that when it dries, it's not just blending into the dark red. Because the thing is like what a lot of painting is just tricking the eyeballs, right? It's just a whole bunch of illusions. Like, as you can see in that fold right there, it looks pretty like dark, almost black, but that's just dark red, right? The more you build up like luminosity and like saturation, um, it's much easier to trick your eyes into believing that things are much darker and like the shadowy areas than it like really is. So I don't Like rarely do I ever really need to use like pure black for shadows and stuff. You can use tones like a dark purple or dark green or even red or dark blue, depending on like what kind of light you're getting, like a cool light or a warm one. Like use the colors to your advantage, and then like you can build interesting shadows without having to use um, black or whatever. But if you do use like a black or a white, using like a chromatic white or black um, is usually more interesting. So like instead of using like a regular white, let's say I'm using, that golden non-metallic metal. If I want to like represent white, but I don't want to use pure white, I can use like an ice yellow. So like a really, really, really bright yellow that is very bordering like close to white-ish. Um, so that'll give you like a really good, really, really solid like highlight. I hope that all made sense and that I wasn't just like babbling. Do you paint other things besides miniatures? Um, no. I don't. Um, I would like to, but I don't think I have it in me. Not like, oh, I'm not talented enough or whatever, but more in the sense that I don't know if I have the patience for it. Because I do have trouble focusing on certain things. Um, yeah, because I was found out recently. I say recently, but this was uh maybe even late last year. I have like ADHD, and I'm not taking any kind of medication for it. So, um, so I get the pluses and the minuses. Uh, but like painting other things is just not in my wheelhouse right now. And I know I say like, oh, I don't have the patience for it, and here I am doing this, and like saying, oh, I sit here for hours, like putting on like tiny, tiny transparent layers of paint. But it engages my brain in the right way. My brother used to make model cars, and he would use a desk lamp that he used to heat certain areas and mash it against something to make it look like accents. It was really interesting to see. Yeah, I actually thought about doing stuff like that, like taking like Warhammer miniatures or whatever and messing them up on purpose. Cause like that's the thing is that kit bashing, so like taking pieces from other miniatures and attaching them to whatever miniature you have is a really popular thing to do. Um, and also like messing them up and making like fun little scenes and dioramas are such a huge thing that that's part of the hobby that I really really like too. Like I don't really kit bash. Like I'm wanting to stick my toes in that like part of the hobby. Um, or dip my toes on that part of the hobby, I should say. Um, But yeah, it's like really interesting. If you want to see some like pretty out there conversions and stuff, look up turnip 28. You will see some very interesting like kit bashes and conversions and stuff. I mean, I guess just in general, looking up like uh conversions for miniature games, you'll see a lot of crazy things. The miniature looks really good so far. Thank you. We are uh getting close to wrapping up here. And I think we did okay for today. Yeah, no, I think we did good. Let me just put some black right here. And like the interesting thing about like painting black, right, is that like the really good highlights are gonna be your grays and stuff. And like just like how I mentioned, you want to use like chromatic colors. There are plenty other grays out there. Makes me think of like I'm talking like aliens and stuff, like grays. Um, you did great. Thank you. Um, but yeah, as you can see, like how I was mentioning, like you can see the brighter dark red and then like that like little transition and stuff. How long does it take to complete something uh from start to finish? I guess it kind of depends. If I'm not chit chatting and just like hanging out, um, I have finished some stuff in like maybe 8 hours. If you're, I guess it kind of depends on the degree you want to paint it at. Like for these, I want to paint them at like a higher quality, so it's gonna take a while, right? But if I'm just doing like, oh, this size, oh, yeah, so I guess that kind of boils down to quality still. If I just want to do like a tabletop standard, this will probably like I could probably bang this out in like another couple hours, right? And then we're done, right? Because we don't need to do anything too crazy. It just needs to look good on the tabletop, which you'll probably be looking at, a couple feet away. So you don't really need to go in all in on the details. So like the little toggles and stuff and like the gem, that'd be really easy. If I wanted to give him a an older appearance, you could just take a dry brush, which looks like a makeup brush. Let me show you real quick. Oh, my headphones. Oh no, I should put my headphone on the other side. My cable. Okay. So like you have this dry brush which looks like a makeup brush, right? And so you can take this and let's say you see like all like I don't know, like all these raised areas. Let's say, because I have smaller dry brushes than this, use when you're dry brushing, you want to use the biggest dry brush you can get away with for the job. So this wouldn't be it, but you get the picture. If I wanted to do like a quick dusting, oh, camera shaking. If you wanted to do like a quick dry brush to make him like age like his fur and everything, you would just go boop 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 boop, and then all the raised areas would be highlighted. If I wanted, so basically, I you could do quick highlights with a dry brush, just using the right techniques and everything. Um, and you could get your highlights done super quick. You don't have to like really care about blending them. Because like I said, tabletop quality, you're going to be a good distance away. Doesn't matter as much. So like this, if I wasn't on stream, I could probably get this done in a day if I was doing like tabletop quality. If I wanted to do like a higher quality like display, this would take me a couple days, which is not bad because the one thing you also have to keep in mind is that um, the amount of details on the miniature. Like the other one I showed you, where that night elf with the non-metallic metal, that's gonna take forever because there's a lot of little details and everything on the trim and everything, right? But like for something like this, there's not a whole lot going on here, right? So you can get this done pretty quick. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. Because, like, I guess also another important factor is like how familiar you are with how like your paint behaves. So like every brand that I've used so far, like they're all the paints act differently. So currently, let me zoom out real quick. Like this is my wet palette. Um, so this is just like dual sponge, with essentially baking sheet paper on top, right? And this keeps my paint alive for a really long time, right? So I've had projects where I used a wet palette and I can't like I kept my paint alive for like a whole week straight, right? Changing out the water, all that stuff. Um I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah. Some paints like if you store them on the wet palette, they become like super watery and unusable within a couple of hours. Some are good for, a couple of days, so, swapping paint out and everything is fine. I need one of those. Yes, you do. If you're doing painting and stuff like that, I recommend a wet palette. You can actually, where did you get it? I got mine from Game Envy. It was part of a little campaign. But they do have other ones. I can send you a link to it. But if it's also not in your price range, there are alternatives. Um, there are smaller palettes. There are homemade palettes that you can make. Um, but for me, this was like completely worth the investment, right? Because if I can keep my paint alive, because I used to use like a paper palette like this, you got your sheets, or like a dry palette, and that paint dries up real quick. In our house, um, even if we have the humidifier on, my paints without the wet palette would dry like within the hour. Like I'd have a blob and it's just dry. So like trying to resurrect it with water and everything was the wrong move because the water separates the paint from the binder. So then now I'm just getting like blobs of color versus paint. Um yeah, so this is nice, and then you got these little copper shields which are not necessary. Um but yeah, I can actually show you guys uh what it looks like the process of setting it up. So if you guys are interested in getting your own wet palette, um, you know to what to expect. Yeah. So I think I have like two other wet palettes. So yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing that next stream or another whenever, just let me know. Oh, but you can also get these. Yeah, yeah. Acrylic is criminal when it comes to drying out. You can probably just grab a wet palette on like Amazon or something. Um, do you want like a big size palette, or what are you looking for? Okay, so next stream you want me to show you how to set it up and everything? Okay, let me get. Oh, and it looks like we're at time. Um, small or medium? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you can probably get a medium one on Amazon or something. Yeah, that would be awesome. Okay, cool. So I'll drop some more knowledge on the next stream. And yeah, but it's 8:30. I need to hop off here. But thank you everyone for dropping by and hanging out. I'll be back again tomorrow. Yeah. Bye.